Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. I'm the manager of AFC Wimbledon, who today are taking on Liverpool at Anfield in the FA Cup. It's win or go home, and we're taking on arguably the best team in the history of the world, Liverpool Football Club. Look at Anfield. God, is there a more beautiful stadium? It fills my heart with incredibly complicated emotions. I'm joyful because Wimbledon is now good enough to be playing Liverpool. Obviously, I'm also remembering the late 1980s when Liverpool was the best team in the world and they lost to Wimbledon in the FA Cup final. Probably the biggest upset in FA Cup history. Also, I'm sad because I don't want to have to beat Liverpool. I love Simon Mignolet. I love Coutinho. None of these players play for us anymore, but Jordan Henderson. But whatever, it's going to be difficult to beat these guys, you know? They are great men. This is a great football club. But we also have a great football club. We've got Dicko and Dini, the odd couple, up front. We've got the golden child in the center of midfield, as well as Les Moore, which I believe to be the right amount of Moore. And then we've got Di Michelis and Rocker in the back, and Seb Brown, of course, as he is in all of our knockout competitions, playing goalkeeper. Meredith, what is the topic for today? Did we decide upon one? We should. We should have a topic. Other than the glory. Oh, that was not a great moment for a pass, Dicko. John Green, I don't like to brag, but John Green in that situation, 10 times out of 10, chooses not to pass. Oh boy, that was a necessary slide tackle, my least favorite kind. Golden child on the ball, golden child on the ball, golden child on the ball, cutting it back. Oh, the golden child, making people look silly. Oh, pass, yes, pass, yes, shoot. Oh, it's a goal! Oh, Les Moore! He scores with his left. He scores with his right. That Les Moore makes some more look shite. Oh, what a goal. Meredith, there was so much passing that led to that goal, and then Simon Mignolet could not handle the pace of the ball. What's our topic? We still don't have one. Retirement advice? Yes! I know so many Wimbly Womblys supporters are on the edge of retirement, and I, of course, also on the edge of retirement. It's the perfect topic. Thank you, Meredith. Just when I thought, like, maybe I should fire Meredith as the assistant manager and get an assistant manager who's good at FIFA, I'm reminded that Meredith's gifts to this program are about more than FIFA. They're also about retirement advice. I have tons of retirement advice. Meredith knows this. You guys don't. I spend a tremendous amount of time thinking and talking about retirement. I am obsessed with retiring. I want to retire as soon as possible and as dramatically as possible. So my biggest piece of retirement advice, having now had my parents retire, oh, look at Les Moore. He's rampaging. He's a rampager. He's rampaging into the box. It's not a bad ball to Dicko! I was fouled, right? I was fouled? I was a smidge offside. Probably should have gone with the Y button there, maybe. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe an earlier A. Maybe that was a moment for an early A instead of an old-fashioned X. I guess my biggest piece of retirement advice is this. First off, you should retire when you can, if you can. And then you should have something that you do in retirement that brings you joy. For my dad, my dad retired after working for many years in. He worked some in real estate, mostly in like land conservation, and he worked for the Nature Conservancy for a long time. Oh, what a goal that could have been! He retired when they moved to North Carolina about 10 years ago. And then he began working full-time running our business, Hank and me's, like all of our business stuff that we had to do, you know, like having to figure out taxes and how to incorporate and all that stuff. And it started out just like he was doing it as a favor for us, and then it became like a real job. And then he was working like more hours than he'd ever worked in his entire life. And then he just like last year, he re-retired. Because he was so tired of doing like DFTBA records, payroll, and everything. So he re-retired. But even in his re-retirement, he's finding lots of stuff to do. A lot of it's working with us, but I think it's just good to have something to do. Like my mom is a great painter and also makes goat soap. For those of you who don't know, she has goats, and she and her friend Molly used the milk from the goats to make goat milk soap that I have to say, and I know that I am biased as her son, but it's amazing stuff. This Farmer Jane goat's milk soap. You can look it up on the internet. But they mostly sell it at like local farmers markets. They have DFTBA goat's milk soap, but they almost never advertise it because they only like to make a certain number of soap bars per year, and they sell the DFTBA ones too quickly. I'm not great business people necessarily in the strictest sense, but yeah, they just really it's really cool, and like it also it reflects my parents' values of being good stewards of livestock and trying to use lots of trying to use their goats in as many ways as possible, but still to treat them well and everything. Anyway, yeah, so like that's one thing that my parents do. That's a good opportunity, but you didn't score. You didn't score from that good opportunity. I'm disappointed in you. All right. That's one thing I'd say. But the other thing I'd say is part of the reason that my parents are able to have this great retirement, because God knows Hank and I aren't helping them. We are philosophically opposed to it. I believe in the Ayn Randian vision that if you can't take care of yourself, then your kids shouldn't take care of you for you. No, I'm just kidding. But my parents did a great job of saving for retirement. They saved their whole careers. It was a really important part of their lives to save for retirement, and also like they taught us like my dad helped me open up a 401k when I worked at Steak and Shake, or not a 401k, what's it called, an IRA when I worked at Steak and Shake, and I just thought it was the most ridiculous thing because I was so mad at having to give up 10% of my stake. Oh God, Seb Brown, who just took out 3 men to save the ball. Seb Brown cares about the ball in a way that regular people just can't. And that's it. That's halftime. Les Moore scores a goal. We're up 1-0 in the FA Cup against Liverpool away from home. Think of all the money that we're making right now, Meredith. Just look at that full Anfield Stadium. My God, it's a beautiful thing to see. That's a great goal, too. Great goal. You got to say Simon Mignolet should have done a little bit more there, but still a great goal. Yeah, so my parents did a really good job saving for retirement and encouraging good saving habits in us. It's incredibly hard to save because it's really, really hard to say no to stuff that you want or stuff that your kids want. I mean, I think about that a lot with my parents. Like, my parents were really, really financially conservative. And at the time, sometimes when I was a kid, it would annoy me that there was stuff that my friends had that I couldn't have, or stuff that that we didn't I don't know, we moved to a different house and stuff, and I don't know, I just always wanted to keep up with the proverbial Joneses, some of whom in my neighborhood were actually named the Joneses. But anyway, but I didn't understand at the time that my parents were giving me a tremendous gift by making sure that they were saving for retirement, so that when it came time for their retirement, that I wouldn't have to worry about that as an adult, and that certainly has been a great gift to me. So I think that's another thing. That's something that Sarah and I try to do. We try to save very aggressively, so that hopefully we won't make things difficult or harder than necessary for Henry and Alice. Yeah, so I don't know, that's my retirement advice basically. Save aggressively and have a hobby in retirement or a passion. The great thing about retirement to me is that it allows you to live your passions. And frankly, Hank always says that when I talk about retirement, Hank is always like, well, I am retired. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm already retired. I'm doing all the things I want to do. And that's kind of true for Hank. I don't think Hank would act I don't think Hank would live any differently if money were not a concern. You know what I mean? I don't think Hank would change his life at all if he won the lottery tomorrow, which I find totally fascinating. There are things about my life I would change, but there are a lot I wouldn't. Oh, wow, I was almost away on goal. Oh, man, that was almost a beautiful 70-yard run for a goal, but then it didn't happen. So much effort in this world, it came to nothing. Pass, good pass, shoot! Oh, I was offside. Time to make some substitutions. I was barely offside, for the record. Man, I have such a mixed bag. I'm so poor at the offside rule. Yeah, so I mean, I guess in a perfect world, if you're lucky, you'll like what you do enough that it won't seem, it won't seem that different to it won't seem that different to retire. because you'll still get to do some version of it. But like, I guess what I would like to retire from is the feeling of uh, like that I'm gonna let my family down or myself down or people I care about down by taking time away from work or by not pushing as hard as I can. Have you ever noticed that D. Michelis has no teeth, Meredith? It's one of the weirder things about him. He's a toothless man. It's just a big black gaping hole when he opens his mouth. You can look all the way into the abyss. And you see there what happens if you don't do a good job planning for retirement. No, the other thing, I'm a big, but I'm also like a very like kind of conservative-ish person when it comes to money and try not to like, Sarah and I have always tried really hard to live well within our means and all that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe my advice is like kind of silly. I don't know. I'm just doing my best. Meredith gave me this topic. But I worried a lot about my parents in retirement because, like, for both of them, their work was a huge part of their identity. Like my dad, being a kind of professional environmentalist, I guess, is a huge part of my dad's life. And then for my mom, being a community organizer was such a huge part of her life, and working with, especially with young women who were in either. At times she worked with young women who were victims of domestic violence. At times she worked with women who were at risk or lived in communities that didn't offer adequate care and resources to students or to young mothers. And she tried to be part of fixing that and be part of fixing getting better services to communities that were neglected by Central Florida, and then by the local governments in Central Florida. And then when they moved, I was really worried about them because I was like, oh man, like this is who they are, this is their identity, and like what are they going to do now? Oh, Wimbly Womblys scored a goal, and Dicko was his name. Oh, D-I-C-K-O, 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 and Dicko was his name. Oh, it's a wonderful moment for the Wimbly Womblys as they go up 2-0 against Liverpool in the FA Cup. We're moving on in the FA Cup, ladies and gentlemen, and we are still undefeated in the year 2017. Some people call it our honest Mirabolis, our year of miracles. Oh, 2017, the greatest year of all. We are still unbeaten, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Oh, man. Anyway, I was worried about my parents, but then it turned out they really enjoyed retirement because they found passions and they got to do the stuff that they love and in a way be more efficient because they didn't have to worry about getting paid for it as much. Thank you for watching. We won the game. Sorry, Liverpool. I love you guys. I love you so much. I'm so sorry. Oh, God, I hate to see you like this. I'm so sorry. Oh, it breaks my heart. I'm sorry. Simon Mignolet, I'm so sorry. Oh, but at least we won. Thanks for watching. Best wishes.